Okay, I'm going to go over some of the answers for the multiplication, division sequences, checkpoint. So it asks you to list all the factors of the number. It's anything that can be multiplied to get to 15. So 1 times 15 is 15, so those are factors. 1 and the number should always be the first factors that you list because 1 times 15 equals 15. 3 times 5 are also factors. For 15, since there's more than 1 and the number as factors, it's called composite. Multiples of a number are the count bys. So when you count by 15, the answers that you say are, or the numbers that you say are the multiples. So 15, 30, 45, and so on. For 7, the factors are 1 and 7, which means that it's prime because there's only one factor pair. 7, 14, and so on would be the multiples. This problem has 2 as one of the factors, which means that it has to be a number that's composite. It has to be composite because it has a 1 and itself as factors and 2 and something else as a factor. So even though we don't know the number, it is composite. And you could have had different things written here, but I'm going to say because 2 is a factor. Prime numbers only have 1 and whatever the number is, so itself. Okay. For some of the ones on the bottom, timesing it by 5 might have been kind of easier. Count by 5 to see how many you get to 40. But some of the ones that are 1 away from 5, you could have done 5 times 30 and then taken 5 times 6 equals 30, and then taken one of those 6's away to get 24. So we talked about creating an easier problem and then taking one group away. So if you were to do 6 times 10, you would get 60. And then if you were to take one group away of 6, you would get 9 of them. So 54 would be the answer for that one. And then this one would have been a little harder. You would have maybe had to count up by 8s, or the students were allowed to use their tiles, so they might have made 8 rows until they had 56 tiles gone, or done that on grid paper as well. And again, you might have done 10 times 3 equals 30. And then that way you take one group of 3 away, which of course is just 3. And that's going to get you 9 groups of 3, which would be 27. So that was the subtract a group method. John had 5 baseball cards on number 4. His brother has 3 times as many baseball cards. So you're starting with 5. You have 3 times that amount. So we're getting 15 cards. For number 5, the equation 32 equals 4 times 8 can mean 32 is 4 times as many as 8. That would be correct. This is not correct because less than is subtraction. 32 is 8 times as many as 4. That is also the same answer because you can switch the 4 and the 8 and it still means the same thing. That's a commutative property. Then 32 is twice as much. that would mean you're taking 2 times, and that would not work. So on number 6, the sequence starts at 9. You'd have to add 12, put the answer here, add 12, put the answer here, and keep going. For number 7, though, they already gave you the sequence, so the pattern that I would notice is that they all end in zeros. All end in 0. And all go up 1 more in the tens place. Okay, so in the tens place, it was 6, then 7, then 8, then 9. Then you would get 10 tens, okay, and 11 tens. This happens because multiples of 10 have 0 on the end, and it started with a multiple of 10, 60. The next figure in this sequence would be you have 1 on each end, then you had 2 on each end. So the next one from the middle, you're going to have 3 more from that side, 3 more on this side, and 3 more on this side. The drawings didn't have to be exact, but they did have to look like this to an extent and have squares on it. So a sequence is very similar to a pattern. It's going to follow the same rule each time after it starts in a certain spot. So if you have any questions about this assessment, please let me know. These skills will be reassessed on the unit, the end of unit test. Thank you.